Book our porters, and you will tremendously increase your summit success. You just have to book them 30 days in advance, and if you didn't need them in the mountain, then you can apply to our refund policy. The equipment to move consists of equipment carried by mules up to the base camp round trip and equipment carried by climbers or our porters from the base camp to the high camps. The mules and porters don't go with us. They go separately from the climbers, usually early in the morning or at another time. We will need 3 different bags during our expedition. A duffel bag and a backpack are mandatory, while a day pack is optional, but recommended. A duffel bag is necessary to keep your backpack, boots, and sleeping bag in a thick and waterproof lock bag when transporting by the mules, and also to leave some belongings in the base camp when going to the high camps. We recommend having a backpack with at least 70 liters capacity with a pick holder and a place to fix the crampons to carry your personal equipment. The capacity depends on the preferences of each climber and its gear. The mules will carry it up to the base camp, and the climbers or your personal porter from the base camp up to the last high camp. There, you will carry all your personal gear and the food and water. The day pack is a 30 or 35 liters backpack to carry some personal belongings which go with you at all times when the mules or porters carry your backpack. It's also useful to use in the acclimatization tricks and very helpful on the summit day. It's not mandatory, but recommended. You may also use your big backpack instead, which is heavier than a small day pack, but in this case you need to unpack your belongings and leave them in each camp when going on an acclimatization trek, and on the summit day there you will carry a hat, your phone, personal medicines and headlamp, lunch and water for the trek, a sunblock and a wind jacket. Please remember the mules and porters do not carry day packs. The climbers will always carry them. The porters transport loads from the base camp up to the last high altitude camp, and on the full expedition programs, they will carry part of the food and water if necessary. They also carry the high altitude tents, the garbage and waste, the oxygen tube and first aid kit. Also, all cooking elements including fuel and heaters among other items. The climbers will have to carry their personal gear from the base camp consisting of their boots and crampons, sleeping bag and mattress and clothing. They also have to collaborate during 2 days by carrying some food and water if there's no good quality snow to melt. There are 6 porter sections to carry loads from the base camp to the 3 high altitude camps. The camps are the following: Plaza de Mulas Base Camp at 4,200 meters. Camp 1, Canada at 5,000 meters. Camp 2, Nido de Condors at 5,500 meters, and Camp 3, Cholera, at 6,000 meters above sea level. Section 1 consists of an acclimatization day from the base camp Plaza de Mulas to Camp 1, take lunch there and return to base camp. In this section, the climbers must carry some food and water if necessary. It will be around 10 kilograms of food and water to be carried per person from the base camp to Camp 1. In Section 2, we moved from the base camp to Camp 1 again, but now stay there. We go by the same path as the previous day, but don't return to the base camp. Now the climbers have to carry all their personal gear, and the weight varies according to each person and his gear. In Section 3, we moved from Camp 1 Canada to Camp 2 Nido de Condors, and the climbers have to carry again all their personal gear. In Section 4, we will do an acclimatization trek to Camp 3 and return. In this section, the climbers must carry around 6 or 7 kilograms of food and water if necessary, leave them in Camp 3, and return to rest in Camp 2. Sometimes this acclimatization day, or another day, may be skipped depending on the time window. For the summit attempt, the itinerary is flexible according to each group, the weather, and guide's criteria, but the loads must be carried anyway to each camp. In Section 5, we move again from Camp 2 to Camp 3, but this time the climbers must carry all their personal gear. Sections 5 and 6 are the most critical porter sections, where we statistically have the most issues with climbers who cannot carry their backpacks or spend all their energies to do it and have no energy left for the summit day. On the next day, we'll leave our backpack in the camp and go to the summit with our day pack only. There's no porter service on the summit day. It demands about 8 hours to reach the summit, and we take about half an hour to celebrate at the summit, but all may varies according to safety and guides criteria, and then we take some hours to descend to Camp 3 to rest there. In Section 6, we have the most critical part of the expedition in terms of safety. Summit Day, the climbers must carry all their personal gear. When descending thousands of meters from 6 to 8 hours, or suppose someone needs to descend in advance for any reason, in that case it's when the porter service becomes vital, since the guides will descend the climber who is in trouble to continue, but the guides cannot carry the climber's backpack and the availability of porters is impossible to guarantee if it's not saved in advance. The personal porters options are the following. The premium porter service is the best choice. Our expedition porter's gear will carry all common equipment and your personal porter will carry your personal gear in all sections except your day pack. Then you will save your energies for the summit day and also have a more comfortable and safe expedition, avoiding carrying loads that may cause accidental falls on tired climbers at the high altitude camps, especially if bad weather conditions. When you hire any porter service, you accept the porters unpack your loads to carry them in their own backpacks. Here we have the premium porter service in detail. It includes a porter service in all 6 sections. The porters will carry all your personal gear up to 75 liters of clothing and backpack in addition to your sleeping bag, mattress, boots, and crampons, and they will also carry the food and water during the 2 acclimatization treks. It has this capacity limitation maximum of personal gear. This is a service for only one climber and sharing it with another climber is not possible. The round-trip porter service includes only 4 sections instead of 6. It's a balance between service and cost. It does not include porters' help carrying the food and water in sections 1 and 4. By taking this option, the porters will carry all your personal gear between the camps, and this is non-shareable with another climber. In the basic porter service, the porters will carry your personal gear only in the last 2 quarter sections, which are the most important ones. Section 5, when we move to the highest camp with all the personal gear, and Section 6, which is a critical section in terms of safety. Most climbers are exhausted from walking so many hours carrying the loads, and it becomes essential if an early descent is needed, since the guides did not carry the climber's backpack. However, you may choose any other 2 sections of your preference. The Porter Mini Basic Service consists of the help of a porter to carry just half a backpack of your personal gear. It will be up to 40 liters. And it will cover only the last 2 sections or other 2 sections of your preference. This service is not available to hire in the mountain with us, and it's not allowed to acquire porters from illegal freelancers or other providers, because if any failure that porters deliver the equipment wet or something is missing or stolen or just delayed, the climber will not be able to continue, so the expedition will lose a guide who needs to help the climber in trouble, and the whole group will be affected for bad, decreasing the chances to reach the summit to the other climbers. So booking in advance is necessary to guarantee deployment and availability in case you need it. Some options have 100% in credit if partially used, and we also have a refund policy for non-taken porters. Please read the conditions before booking and ask us if you have any questions.